So grain-fed versus grass-fed. Okay, we bang on about this, but we'll just show you some of the reasons why. So in grain-fed animals, they've got a higher ratio of omega-6. Right? Remember, omega-6 is an essential fatty acid, but it's very pro-inflammatory. So if we get that ratio of omega-3 and omega-6 out of whack, we become inflamed. So we want more omega-3, and so we can get that ratio to 1:1 or 1:3, right? So 1 part omega-3 to 3 parts omega-6. The fat on grain-fed animals is whiter. They have higher rates of E. coli because they're not being fed the foods that they're supposed to be fed, which means then that leads to increased antibiotic use. Now, farmers found out a while ago that if they pumped their cattle full of antibiotics, they grew a lot fatter a lot quicker. And they could do that on a lot less calories, right? Which saves the farmers money because it means they've got to feed them less food. And the same thing goes for you guys. You do a course of antibiotics, and guess what? You can put on fat really, really quickly. It messes up your gut bacteria and things start to change. Plus grain-fed animals. Now, just from a animal cruelty point of view, you know, thinking about the welfare of the animals, you don't want animals that are kept living indoors in poor conditions. You know, you want them to have led some sort of reasonably happy life, ideally, if you give a shit. Now, grass-fed animals, 2 to 5 times more omega-3, right? So not just fish, we're looking at the beef and all the other bits and pieces. So you look here, you've got N6, which is omega-6, to the N3, which is omega-3, and the ratio is 1.53 to 1. So it's much better than 7.6 to 1. That's a really poor ratio, and that's going to leave you inflamed, and that's going to lead to chronic illness. The fat's more yellow, so opposed to what people think, you know, a nice bit of white fat on your steak, you don't want that. You want a nice bit of yellow fat, and the reason for that is things like the phytonutrients. The phytonutrients change the colour of the fat and make it yellower. So they're pastured, they live mostly outdoors, which means that they're generally going to be happier, and the meat is marbled and more juicy, which means it tastes a lot nicer as well. So it is a little bit more expensive, but it makes sense to go for the grass-fed stuff as opposed to going for the grain-fed stuff. It does make a difference.